Hello and welcome to my show Indus Cuisine. I'm your chef Basim Akhund. We're back with another new episode from the heart of Pakistan, and this recipe today is very close to my heart. I've grown up having this recipe, and this recipe is known as achar gosht. Achar means pickle and gosht means meat. So we make the meat with all those spices which go into pickles, or when we're pickling any type of vegetable or any type of, you can say, even meat. And when I'm saying meat, in Pakistan there's this city called Shikarpur. It's a part of the province of Sindh. In that province, in that city, a lot of different types of pickles are made. And in Pakistan, pickle is called as achar. If you go over there, you'll find each and every ingredient pickled in the markets of Shikarpur, from vegetables to eggs to any form of meat also. I know it is very surprising to hear that meat is also pickled in Pakistan, but it is. Today's recipe is very easy and we'll make it in two parts. So what is the first part? The first part is we need to start bashing some ingredients. For example, the masalas in a pestle and mortar, which is over there. Why? Because in this recipe we do not want the masala to be in the form of a powder. We want it to have texture. Why? Because this recipe is still made as it was made back in the day. In the 17th century, when the European conquerors came to Pakistan, they found a new phenomena over here. What happened was that back in the day, Pakistanis used to have every form of their food with mostly chutneys and pickles. So this was a trend in Pakistan. It is said that back in the day there was this one family in the city of Hyderabad whose chef used to make different types of pickles, who used to make different types of chutneys. Chutneys is like a sour cream, locally also known as chutney, which was served with the food. And one day he didn't have enough time. So what he did was he took the achar, he took the pickle, and he mixed it with the food, with the meat. And this is how achar gosht came into being. Today's recipe, the ingredients are very simple. I'll let you know step by step. So the initial ingredients which will go into a pestle and mortar, I'll keep it over here. You need to keep fennel seeds, you need to keep cumin seeds, you need to keep some mustard seeds, black peppercorns, and some coriander seeds, not coriander powder. Why? Because we will, what we'll do is we'll bash it in a pestle and mortar, which is over here, and then we'll add it to the recipe. So the other ingredients are salt to taste, turmeric powder, you need red chili powder, you need onion seeds. It's a very unusual thing, but in Pakistan a lot of things, a lot of recipes have onion seeds in it, also known as black seed, and everyone knows that black seed oil is considered as one of the most precious healing oils in the world. Then you need around 4 to 5 cloves of garlic, you need some ginger, oil around 1 cup. Why? Because we will fry the mutton. We're making it with mutton. It's not made with beef or chicken. When we say gosht, traditionally gosht was considered to be mutton meat. And then you need some yogurt. In the vegetables, you'll be needing some green chilies, you'll need some onion, tomatoes, which we will peel when we'll char grill them. We will not use the French technique, which is usually boiling the tomatoes and then peeling the skin off. We'll char grill them. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to bring the pan to heat. I've kept the pan on a pilot, so I shall increase the heat in a bit. But first of all, you need to put some spices. So firstly, we shall add some coriander seeds. Then you'll add some black pepper. Then you'll add some mustard seeds. You'll add some cumin seeds. And in the end, you'll add some fennel seeds, also known as saunf. Saunf is also considered to be a mouth freshener in Pakistan. A lot of small packets you will find in the market over here, which will have a lot of fennel in it with some type of dried mint, or some or maybe at times you'll even have some cloves in it. In Pakistan, these are the natural things people use for the replacement of a chewing gum. Like chewing gum is in mint flavor, in strawberry flavor. In Pakistan, we have a lot of saunf, which is packeted. Okay, so now you just need to like bash it and not convert it into a powder, but you need some, you need to have this texture to it. So now just start mixing it and slowly and gradually keep doing this. And once this is done, what we'll do, we'll convert it or we'll shift it into another empty bowl, and then we'll start continuing with the recipe. as you can see, I've converted this into a textured powder. You can say it's not completely finely crushed, but I want this texture. Why? Because this will add flavor and this will add this coarseness to the masala I'll be making over here. So now when this is done, what we'll do is now we need the onions. So we need to, for this recipe basically, we need to make it into an onion paste. Now you'd be thinking that back in the day, how people used to convert the onions into a paste. They used to have big pestle and mortars, not the size of this, but actually you can say the rods or the utensils they were using were pretty big, and women used to surround as a gesture towards cooking, and then they used to sing songs in the villages, and then they used to bash all the materials down till the time they were converted into a very, very fine paste. Even nowadays, if you go to cities of the Cholistan district like Umarkot, you'll see women over there wearing bangles still over here, and they'll be bashing down all the materials naturally in the natural way. Why? There are two reasons to that. Why? Because it's a desert area, there is not a lot of infrastructure over there, and secondly, they also still consider that the old ways bring out the flavor in the food more as compared to the machineries that we are using in the current day kitchens. Anyway, so what you need to do now is just like roughly just make the onion into thick pieces. Once this is done, you'll add it to a blender and you'll convert it into a fine paste. When this is done, what we'll do is we'll keep it in the wok or the frying pan on one side and let it cook till the time the water or the moisture in the onion is evaporated properly. So now you might be thinking, where will so much moisture come from? We'll be adding a little bit of water in the blender. Why? Because we need the machine to process properly. So let's transfer this into a plate or a bowl, and then let's just like transfer it over there. So we'll take it. I had taken the roots out of the onion already. Why? Because we're using roots only when we're chopping the onion fine. Right now, you just take out the roots and the peel and just toss it in the blender. So this goes over here. Put this on the side. Add around a cup of water, not too much. Or maybe half cup would also do. Put back the lid on and process it. So we've converted this into a paste. Now what you need to do is increase the heat to full, let's say. Keep this over here, and now add some oil. We won't add all the oil right now. What we'll do is we'll just add around 2-3 tablespoons. Why? Because if you add a lot of oil with the watered onion, the oil will start splattering out and you'll have a lot of wastage, and the area you're cooking in will also go a bit bad. So now what you need to do is add it over here. And now you will cook it down to the point where the water will go completely away, and this will convert into a thick, textured, paste-like thing. So now what you need is you need some salt, around 1/4 teaspoon. Spread it out. Why? Because the salt will help the moisture of the onion to come out. Then what you need is you need some ginger and garlic. So just give it a lid right now. Let it come to boil. Reduce down the heat to medium. This will take around 5 minutes, and this will also help the onion to cook, and it's going to get really, really soft towards the end. So now this is happening. What we'll do is we'll take some ginger, we'll take some garlic, and we'll shred it down. Why? Because we need to add it over here. So what I'll do is I'll move my knife, I'll take the ginger, and I'll start shredding around 4 to 5 cloves. Keep the end part on the side. And this part of the garlic goes into the dustbin. As you can see, the garlic is ready over here. Now you need some ginger. Finely shred it. Be careful with your hand, especially when you're shredding. I'll always mention this no matter how many times I'm cooking for you. Why? Because your safety comes first. And this part of the ginger can be on the side. So this is done. You do not need this anymore. push it on the side, rinse your hands once, and just dry your hands out. Okay, now as you can see, it's come to boil. Move it a bit and let the onions go down. So till the time this is happening, what we'll do is we'll take another stove. We'll take some tomatoes. So let's pick up the basket of tomatoes and bring it over here. We'll need another bowl in which what we'll do is we shall start char grilling the tomatoes. What I'll do is I'll just put it on open heat. I'll do one in front of you and then I'll show you what to do next. As you can see, you have to just keep moving the tomato. This is like an easier, quicker way, and in Pakistan we usually take the skin off from our tomatoes like this. Why? Because it gives a nice smoky flavor. And I'll keep it over here. As you can see, I'll scrape the skin off with a knife. Let's do another one for you over here. High heat helps the skin to come off. This is done. I'll keep it on the side and I'll just peel one for you and then I'll show it to you. I'll keep this over here. Take a paring knife, pick up the tomato and just start scraping the skin like this. Once this is done, what you need to do is push the ginger on one side, push the garlic on the other, take the skin, pick it up, throw it in the dustbin, and finally chop the tomatoes. In some recipes, if you read in a book or online, you'll see that they'll say convert it into a paste in the blender, but I won't. Why? Because once you take the skin off, you can just finely chop these, and when you're cooking them, they'll break down and convert into a paste easily. So till the time I'll chop all the tomatoes, because this will take some time, you can go for a short break, and once we're back from the break, we'll continue with the recipe. There's a lot more to come. Keep watching Indus Cuisine. Welcome back. You're watching Indus Cuisine and I'm your chef Basim Akhund. During the break, I just did one thing. The one thing was that I just char grilled the tomatoes on open heat, open flame, and then I just peeled them. So as you can see, the tomatoes are finely chopped over here. Over here you have the ginger and you have the garlic. So all these things will stay over here. And now what we'll do, I'll show you one thing. I had added water in this and now you can see the onions, they've completely turned into this nice fine paste. There's a lot to be done right now. So what you need to do is, firstly, you will take this on the side. And now you need a new pot. So what we'll do is we'll keep this over here, we'll keep this here, increase the heat to medium and bring this to heat. We shall use these, but why am I taking a break, or I am splitting it into two different places? Now I'll let you know. First of all, what you need is you need some oil. This has come to heat. Why? Because it's pretty hot. The heat is high. Give it around 30 seconds. First, what you need to do is, in the beginning, when you made this masala over here, you have to fry this in the oil. Why? When you will fry this in the oil, the flavor will come out, and when the flavor comes out, that is the time you will add the other spices. This is what will give you that nice pickled achar flavor. The fennel is that one ingredient that is used the most in pickling any form of vegetable or meat in Pakistan. So this has come to heat. First, what we'll do is we'll add the spices and we shall fry them in the oil for around, let's say, 35 to 40 seconds. So reduce the heat. And as you can see, this is frying now. Give it only 30 seconds, not too much, and add a little bit of salt, just a pinch. Why? Because I want, even if there's like the slightest moisture in the ingredients over here, I want it to be taken out. I can smell it, it smells amazing. It's like perfume. Okay, now what you need is you need to add the ginger and the garlic, mix it up. Reduce the heat to, let's say, low. I've given the garlic and ginger also around 20-30 seconds. Now add the tomatoes. I shall add the tomatoes in the oil so that I can fry them and take the moisture out. Once the moisture is out, that is the time the flavor is going to start mixing in. So what you need to do is increase the heat and fry the tomatoes thoroughly. Okay, so what you will do is you will add salt now. Now you need to add around a quarter teaspoon. It's always salt to taste. So I'll add quarter teaspoon. Why? Because I want the tomatoes to start sweating. When the tomatoes will start sweating, what will happen is the flavor will come out, and secondly, this will convert into a paste. You don't have the skin on. Remember, when you take the skin off from the tomatoes, they fall apart and convert into a paste. If you keep the skin on, what will happen is you won't get that fine texture, you won't get that fine textured paste thing you want. Okay, let me just rinse my hands. This is done. Now what you need to do is you need to prepare some other things. Okay, what you need first is you need some green chilies, around 5 to 6. Okay, as I said, always keep an extra one. This one's kind of damaged, throw it away. I'll take 5 green chilies, the tissue goes over here, and I shall just split them. You have to split them into half. And if you want to reduce the heat of the food, what you can do is you can take the seeds out of it also. Just keep an eye over here. It's cooking properly. Keep the lid back on. I've kept the lid on so that the heat is trapped. And when the heat is trapped, what will happen is the flavor will be better and the tomatoes will disintegrate quicker. Okay, this is done. What I'll do is I'll keep it over here. And now let's start catering to that. Whatever you don't need goes on the side. In the end, you'll need some coriander, not now. Take the lid off. This is done. And now start pressing down these. Okay, you want it to be a proper paste-like texture. So now what I'm doing is I'm frying it and I'm mixing it on high heat, and this will help the tomatoes to break down, and I will show you the end result also. Increase the heat a little bit. Okay, now let me show you. I'll pick up this, and if you can see, it's broken down, and also the oil is splitting. I need the oil to split. Why do I need the oil to split? Because now it's the time to fry the mutton into this. So till the time the oil doesn't split, you can't do this. But before that, what you need is you need to add the onions. The onions will go in and it will absorb the oil, obviously. But then what you'll do is, I'll let you know. Keep this here, keep this over here. Take this and keep it on the side. You don't need it. And now you can see some oil here. Add the other spices. First goes in the turmeric. Then you'll add the onion seeds. Whatever you don't need goes on the side. Then you'll add some red chili powder. I'm adding it on the oil. Why? Because this is another way of frying the ingredients. And now you shall start mixing it. Okay, mix it. Oh, what a beautiful smell this is. And now mix the onion paste which you were actually putting in between this pot. Okay, now you can see this paste-like texture. Fold it. And now you can see the oil is absorbed. What you have to do is let it cook for around 20 to 30 seconds right now. So till the time this is cooking, what we'll do is we'll just clear out the place and then we'll continue with the recipe. So as you can see, the paste is really fine now. What you need to do now is the next step. Firstly, you'll take the mutton and you'll add it. It's completely raw. I haven't boiled it or done anything to it. It will cook in the masala. So you shall add the mutton. It's 1 kg of mutton. Put this over here and mix it in the masala first. Okay, if it's too hot, take your piece of cloth and mix it. Tilt it, give it a nice coat. This is done. I'll give it a lid. The lid goes on. And now what you need to do is the second thing. You need the yogurt. and you need the bowl. The bowl's here, it shall go here. Add the yogurt into it, around a cup of water, not too much. Add 2 pinches of salt and just mix it up like this. This is how you do it in the Desi way. And you can see it's like really fine. You don't need this anymore. This goes over here, and you should add this into this. Okay, add it. Take this on the side. Take the green chilies which you sliced, throw them in, mix it up. You want the masala and the yogurt and the water which you mixed in the yogurt to mix up really well. This is done. Give it a lid. And let it cook for 20 minutes on very low heat. So let me reduce the heat. Now it's on low heat. What I'll do is I'll shift it over here and use this one to start something else. I'm doing a very small, interesting thing for you right now. I'm going to teach you how to make filled green chilies. So I'm doing 2 recipes today. The first one was achar gosht. The other one is filled green chilies, which you actually serve with this. So the stove's really low over here, and I shall let this cook for 20 minutes in its own juices, in its own yogurt. Now you need to understand one more thing, that mutton also has moisture in it, and when you're cooking it, the moisture will come out, mix with the yogurt, the water, and it will give it more moisture, texture, and it will give it more cooking time. So you don't need to add extra water into it, just a little bit, just to water down the yogurt. That is about it. Okay, this is done. Now, as you can see, I've put this on heat. Reduce the heat to low for now, and you need 2 skewers. I'll keep the skewers on the side. What I'll do is I'll take 1 tomato which I peeled and finely chop it, like really fine. Why? Because I shall make the stuffing out of this. So now when I say really fine, so this means I go really, really close. Really fine. Okay, now it's done. The second step is add some coriander powder, around 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, salt, a half teaspoon. Take a piece of garlic and finally chop it. First I'm going to just slice it like this. Add it over here. Take this on the side, you don't need it anymore. 1 lemon. Keep your eye over here. You can see it's cooking properly. Give it a lid and reduce the heat even more. And squeeze half of the lemon into this. It's a small lemon, so what I'll do is I'll take 2 halves. This is done. Wash your hands once. Dry them off. And I'll show you what I'm doing. So the dried masalas you added are soaking up the juices of the tomato. I'm going to mix it. So now what you need to do is transfer this into this. and this is done. Okay, so this is the filling basically. Clean out the board once it's clean. Just take like a clean tissue paper, wipe it, take the green chilies. So now what I'll do is I'll just do one stick for you. Cut the green chili from the top like this. Try taking one of the straight ones, not the ones which are very curvy and curly. Take the sticks, throw it on the side, take a paring knife, and now you have to see what I'll do is I will cut this, push it in, and take the seeds out. Again, cut this and take the seeds out. You have to take the inside part of the green chilies out. So just slowly cut it. Some of them are a bit hard, so you have to kind of fight with it. Slowly and gradually, this is the masala on the green chili which we need, and this comes out. Okay, so the spice level is in this. You don't want this. This goes into the dustbin. And now what you need to do is you need to start filling it. Just tilt it up, fill it, press it, hit it down like this, and you can see the masalas going in. The other one, fill it, push it in as much as you can. Another one, and the last one. So this is done. This is really hot. Reduce the heat, which is low, and now add some oil to it. Around, let's say, 4 to 5 tablespoons. This is done. Take a skewer. Now you need to see one thing. Push it from here. You have to like hold really close. Must come out from here. Then take another one and push it from the other side. I'll tell you why. Because both the faces are going to come and they'll go interlock like this. It's interlocking. Take another one. You have to be very slow and very careful. And then push the other one from the other side in. We have the green chilies. I shall move this on the side. Just rinse my hands once. And now, just break the stick from here. This is done. This goes here. And you shall fry the green chilies into this. Till the time I'm frying the green chilies, what we'll do is we'll start dishing it out, and I'll show you the final look of the recipe. You just need to fry the green chilies like this and keep turning it around till the time you get this nice brown color on top. So as you can see, today's recipe is done. I hope you liked today's episode. I'll see you in another episode of Indus Cuisine. Take care of yourself, and if you have any views or reviews or comments for the recipe for today, you can go to our YouTube channel where we upload it after it's on the screen, and you can drop a comment below. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.